So we're talking to Julian Sands, one of the stars of Death Rider and the House of Vampires. You play Count Holiday. So tell me a little bit about your character.
Well, Count Holiday, first and foremost, is a vampire. But he's an aristocratic vampire who has come over from Europe seeking his own sanctuary from persecution and has established this township in a remote part of the desert where those who come can seek sanctuary with him, providing they are vampires too. And he rules it in a benign but a ferociously vengeful way should anyone transgress the structure he has set up, which is both civilized and diabolical. And I love playing Count Holiday, let's be clear. I grew up on Hammer horror and spaghetti westerns, and as a teenager, punk rock. So when Glenn Danzig tells me he's written a spaghetti western vampire film and has done the soundtrack, I mean, it was irresistible and very, very cool. His passion, his vision was as inspiring to me as any experience I've had.
And was this your first time playing a vampire?
No, I played a kabuki vampire for a Japanese director. Much more Edgar Allan Poe than Bram Stoker, probably 25 years ago. It's called Tale of a Vampire. And it's quite a cult film in the ethereal world of esoteric vampire lore.
Awesome. And you touched a little bit on this in the first question, but what drew you to this project?
Well, Glenn's passion, the absolute commitment to the style of his filmmaking, the imagery, a wonderful cast. Devon Sawa as the Death Rider, and so many other Eli Roth and Danny Trejo, and wonderful people contributing, both on the technical side too, because this film was made in quite a short time and was relentless, and it was driven by Glenn's energy. There is tremendous production value coming from an intensity and a commitment that everybody showed who was involved with the project. And that to me is immensely fulfilling.
Okay, and can you talk a little bit about your collaboration with Glenn?
Well, anybody involved with the project was by definition a Glenn collaborator, because he's written it, he conceived it, he wrote it, he produced it, he filmed it, he appears in it, and he's done the soundtrack. So his hallmark is all over this piece. But the generosity he showed in allowing for a collaboration, for letting go, in order that his conception could really find a freedom in the creative process, was for me very enriching, and I believe that shows in the piece.
Okay, and do you have a favorite scene that you shot?
Well, in some, the finale with Death Rider had a violence and an energy which was very worthwhile to play, very dynamic. I enjoyed that, but I also enjoyed the more reposeful, poised interview, first meeting with Devon. So when he arrives, when I say Death Rider, you seek sanctuary, and I'm in a sort of opera box, and it's just a little exchange, but it's about It's about looks. It's about stillness. It's about pauses. It's about close-ups, and that was wonderfully worthwhile. As was the scene when I show introduced Devon to his sister, a Death Rider, to his sister, who I have behind a gauze curtain, and a bit of necromancing. I bring her back and reveal her, and there's something so poetic and beautiful about that scene. And Glen really paid attention to the aesthetics, the beauty, or he was very involved with the lighting and the art direction, and that was great.
And last question, you said that you love spaghetti westerns and vampire movies. What were your favorites?
Well, come on, Sergio Leone and all he did has to go down for any spaghetti western fan. And the vampire genre, Christopher Lee, in anything he did for Hammer Horror, had an elegance and an authenticity. There wasn't anything camp. I mean, you could say they were tremendously camp, but he played it for real, as we all have to. There is the suspension of disbelief that the vampire nature is fully revealed. I mean, it's about pretending, but it's about believing. I mean, you say this is the last question. It's a question we could riff on for quite some time. But I'm very excited about this project, and it's the potential for a future reintroduction to these characters, because their story ain't done.
Awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us.
My pleasure, and I'm really excited about the screening Wednesday the 18th in the Westwood, the premiere, and all the lucky people who'll be there.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, and cut.
Cool.
Fantastic, Julian.
Yeah, sure. And